Morning, everyone. My name is Ayushi Mistry, and I'll be presenting our research on the topic cognitive dysfunction among US high school students and its association with time spent on digital devices, which is a population based study. For some background, cognitive dysfunction refers to any deficit in attention, verbal and nonverbal learning, short term and working memory, visual and auditory processing, problem solving, processing speed, and motor functioning. It is also a hallmark feature of certain psychiatric conditions like ADHD and MDD. Messias et al. In their study used the YRBS's 2007 and 2009 data to find associations between sadness, suicide, and excessive internet or video game use. Lee et al. In their study found that the association between video game and internet use and mental health varied by sex. To our knowledge, no studies have been done using the YRBS's database to assess the prevalence of cognitive dysfunction among US high school students. So, our aim and objective was to study the prevalence and characteristics of self reported cognitive dysfunction among US high school students, that is, 9th to 12th graders, using the YRBS's 2019 database. The secondary aim is to identify the association between digital screen time and self reported cognitive impairment. Ours was a retrospective cross sectional study with a total of 10,317 participants who were US high school students studying in grades 9 to 12. Among these, students with missing or unknown grades or with any other missing information were excluded from the study. The variables we included were age, sex, race or ethnicity, grades, substance abuse, sleep duration, sadness or hopelessness, self reported cognitive impairment. Our source of data was the YRBS's 2019 database. For the purpose of our study, cognitive dysfunction was defined as difficulties in recall, concentration, and decision making due to emotional, physical, or mental problems. Digital screen time included daily time spent on TV, computer, tablets, and phones. A univariate and multivariable survey logistic regression analysis was applied to identify the prevalence of cognitive dysfunction and its association with time spent on digital devices. Out of a total of 10,317 US high school students in our analysis, 3,914 students reported cognitive dysfunction. Females, as is evident from our table, were reported cognitive dysfunction in higher percentages compared to males. Prevalence of cognitive dysfunction was higher in Hispanic and multiple Hispanic ethnicities. Among the participants with concurrent conditions, current alcohol users, marijuana users, cigarette smokers, and those who've tried illicit drugs reported higher frequency of cognitive dysfunction. Participants feeling sad or hopeless reported higher frequency of cognitive dysfunction. Among the participants who played video games or used computer for non-work related activities, those with 4 hours and 5 hours or more per day of usage reported cognitive dysfunction in higher frequencies. Participants who watched TV daily for 4 hours and 5 hours or more had a higher prevalence of cognitive dysfunction. Our multivariable regression analysis showed that the odds of reporting cognitive dysfunction was higher in excuse me, in participants who played video games and used computer for non-work related activities daily for 5 hours and 4 hours and 5 hours or more. Female participants were at higher odds of reporting cognitive dysfunction. The high prevalence rate of self-reported cognitive dysfunction in US high school students necessitates further screening of these individuals. Cognitive dysfunction associated with many psychiatric disorders is either reversible with treatment or reduced symptomatically with treatment. So it is very crucial to identify them early to prevent adverse effects of cognitive dysfunction on academic and social settings and relationships. To conclude, the prevalence of cognitive dysfunction is high in US high school students, and excessive digital time is associated with higher odds of cognitive dysfunction. Those who played video games or used computers for 4 hours or more per day were at high odds of reporting cognitive dysfunction, but we found no association between TV use and cognitive dysfunction. The limitations of our study were as follows. This database does not include data about the type of content seen and activities performed on these devices. The database groups video games use and internet use on computers and tablets together, so it was not possible to assess them separately. It assesses self-reported cognitive dysfunction, and no objective neurocognitive test was used to identify it. Due to our studies, cross-sectional design, we could not establish a temporal relationship between cognitive dysfunction and digital screen time. Thank you.